feel that duality? Okay, very good. Sinking. Yeah, were you able to do that pretty later on? Then I don't need that so much. It was pretty good. Hello, thanks for helping me with this video. We're going to talk about how to train and develop your Peng energy in Tai Chi. Peng energy is the first of the 8 energies of Peng Li Jian Cai Lie Zhou Kao. And it refers to your capacity to make your opponent's energy float and to extend them in a certain direction away from you, upwards or diagonal back or backwards or something like that. Well, so basically, let's get to the practice. If you haven't done it yet, you want to practice the Yin and Yang superconductor Qigong, the one that goes like this, Yin and Yang, because that is the foundation of you really knowing what is Yin energy in your body and what is Yang energy in your body. And what is Peng? Is it Yin or Yang? You want to take a guess?
Isn't it Yang, Shifu?
It is primarily Yang, and it is a balance of Yin and Yang working together. So Yin and Yang is your building blocks. But when it gets to the 8 applied energies and then other applications after that, you'll tend to use them in certain combinations that are more sophisticated. So I'm going to look at what this is, okay? So this is Yin. So do this now and feel the sinking in your body. Feel energy sinking down the center of your body. And then do this now and feel the energy rising up the outside your body, okay? By the inside, I mean the deep inside. So go like this. From the inside of your body, it goes down. And Yang, feel rising up the surface of your body. But in Peng, they're going to happen concurrently. So what does that mean? It means that if you imagine like a donut, okay, a donut sitting on a table, delicious donut, frostings, coating on top. On the Yin face, all the frosting, all the coating flows down the inside towards a hole and down the bottom of the hole to the very bottom, okay? And then the Yang aspect flows up along the outside of the donut, on every part of the donut, to back to the very top. So the Yin can flow down the inside towards the hole, through the hole to the bottom, and the Yang comes around. So it's doing that on every part of the donut. Does that make sense? So when you are able to have Yin flowing down the center and the Yang flowing up the side, then you will begin to create proper Peng. But you have to hold these somewhat opposing feelings at the same time. So let's go like this then here. This is Yin, this is Yang. This is more Yin, and this is more Yang. So as you feel your energy sink down to the bottom, you feel them wanting to start to rise up on the side. So let them rise up along the outside. And when it gets to the very, very top of you, they want to go back down, just like a kid going down a slide. So let it go down, and then once it climb up again, it goes up and down. Now, as you go up, notice as your energy is rising up the outside, something at the same time is descending down the inside. And as you notice it going down the inside, you can feel the same thing going on the outside. So now you're feeling them happening together. So when you're expanding upwards, you're feeling the sinking. And when you're sinking downward, you feel the rising. Can you start to feel that duality? Okay, very good. Once you have that duality, then you put your awareness on the fact that there is this floating upwards feeling, and it's supported and made possible by the sinking vacuum-like energy that goes down. Because if then, if the energy wasn't flowing down, then what's pushing the energy coming up? Does that make sense? They support each other. You can't have one without the other, otherwise you'll run out of momentum, run out of energy very, very quickly. Does that make sense at all?
Yes,
okay.
yes, sir.
Cool. So once you have that concept, then you could begin to do utilize Peng. And the function of Peng is, like I said, mainly to float people. Before you do Peng, you want to have Kao, which is to rely upon your energy flowing along your surface so that your donut, or your frosting, stays on the outside and not soaking into the inside. That'll be a different kind of pastry. So if you push upon me, he's pushing here like this, okay? Right now, it's pressure going into my bone. I don't want that to happen. I want the pressure to flow along the outside of my skin, flow down my back into the ground. So I have Kao now. So now my body is relatively comfortable. The pressure not going to my body. Once I have that, I feel the sinking of the energy within me and then rising on the outside, see? And then we start to have this floating effect. You start to lose your balance. Yeah. So see, you're solid, push. So you're solid right now. First, right now I'm tense. I have Kao. I'm comfortable. I have the sinking and the rising, see? And then your balance is compromised. So that's the essential function of Peng, is to float them. Once you float them, then you can do any number of applications you want to do, whether you want to pull them, push them, that's up to you. That's a later on thing. but it is created by the sinking and expanding. In Tai Chi, you have this, and that's a very similar one. But you can do it just like this, standing as you are. Okay, now without any of this movement now, just feel your chi begin to sink down the inside your body. And when it hits the ground, then it wants to come up. As it comes up, let the energy come up and you feel the energy expand outwards, like a balloon going outwards. And once you have the expansion, yes, that is the feeling of Peng. What does that feel like in any way?
It feels like I'm floating.
Like floating, yes, exactly. You feel like you're floating. And then what you want to do when we're doing push hands or combat is that you want to give that feeling of floating to me. When you transmit that feeling to me, then I start to float. Almost like a joke. I heard a funny story, funny joke, knock, knock, blah, blah. And then I want to transmit the amusement, the laughter that I felt hearing that joke to you. And if I'm successful, you'll laugh. You'll stop frowning, you'll stop looking confused, you'll start laughing. Then that's successful. And you want to do that. You want to take your floating and give that to me so that I float. Because ultimately, what you are is you're not becoming a balloon that you're stacking things on. You want to make me a balloon so that I float around. Does that make sense? And that would not be easier than if I was like a brick and you're a balloon, you're trying to fight me. It's better for both balloons. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm pressing on you. First let the energy flow along your back, along the surface of the cow. Feel the sinking down to your body, to your feet, and then have the rising on the outside. You feel that floating. And feel that I'm floating too. Yeah. That's pretty well done. Did that feel different than how you used to do it?
Yeah, no, that's it's quite a difference. Quite a difference.
What is the difference to you?
Oh, it feels like we had a bridge,
bridge.
It felt like I was inflating like the Michelin Man.
The Michelin Man, yeah, that's a great imagery.
And then you started to inflate too.
That's it. So once you have that, it doesn't matter where I push upon you, like this. You relax, you sink, you expand. Yeah, see how my feet, and then you can do whatever. And when you get really skilled, even if I'm pushing your body, you can do the same thing. You can sink, you can and then let it come up. Yeah, see I'm off balance. You can rotate your body a little bit, guide with your eyes, and I'll lose my balance. So that's how you begin to use Peng.
Okay.
And then so you add that quality on top of whatever else, whatever movement that you may be doing, then you can float the opponent so they cannot have their root, they cannot have their strength, their stance and their posture helping them. When they lose that, then you have an advantage. Also, it just feels really good to feel that floating in yourself. And you want to maintain that feeling all through your Tai Chi form, whatever movement you're doing, that you have that floating feeling, as you say. Michelin Man feeling,
yeah.
But not necessarily Michelin Man shape.
Yeah.
But that feeling of being light and floating like that, and then your Tai Chi will be so much better. Okay, do you have any questions about that?
Yes, Sifu Chester.
Yes.
So when you're going to Yin, so it always goes down towards your ankles and to your feet, and then after that it starts to.
No, because that was me walking you through in the beginning part of it, right? So in the beginning you would do it just as you say, okay? And then when you get familiar with it, they happen concurrently.
Concurrently, okay.
And so you can try that. See, like if your arms are up like this, and I'm pushing into you,
Okay.
And then simultaneously feel the rising and sinking. Yeah, were you able to do that pretty simultaneously?
Yeah, no, it does feel like was it those lifesaver?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a hole in the middle,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
And then at first you'll do it like you did. You rely on your breathing and the actual sense of Michelin inflation to facilitate it. But more and more it becomes just like a mentalization, mental imagery of it. So that here, grab onto my wrist. At first I'll do the sinking, expanding, and my body inflates, and that all helps me do it well, right?
Yeah.
And push again. Later on, then I don't need that so much. It was pretty good. Eventually, like you just grab my finger, just grab onto. Don't let me move you. So even just like here. So I just need to inflate through here, and then so that one I did it nice and clean, where just the idea of it without my body moving, you start to have that. You feel your body started to lighten up. The 2 times prior to that, what happened was you responded to my G pressure. Here, you responded to the forward pressure that started to buckle your posture. But if I don't push forward and I just have the floating, see?
Yeah.
That's a different kind of experience, and that's more purely Peng, just to clarify. So eventually, it's just more of a mental idea, a mental experience you recreate in yourself, and then you let them feel so they float. Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, cool. So practice that. Practice the Yin and Yang until you really know the feeling of yin and know the yang, and then feel how the end of yin creates the beginning of yang. The end of yang creates the beginning, the desire for yin. And then notice that when you do yang, there's something sinking down for yin. And when you do yin, there's something rising up in yang, so that the two things are flowing all the time in your energy donut. And once you have that, feel the floating of yang as a yin supports it, and you'll have Peng. All right? Well, thanks for helping me demonstrate. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your practice.